Every single time that you make a listing with bad photos or random price with no market research at all, little do you know, but that sale that you're hoping for is gone before you even realized it. This is because 99% of resellers make these mistakes without even realizing it. And I'm not here to lecture you, I am here to tell you my story and how I'm from being a dead broke teenager to getting banned multiple times to building a long-term sustainable business that has made me a millionaire at the age of 17. Now, when you guys see reselling, you guys see me, you probably think reselling is sunshines and rainbows. You think it's probably the easiest process and it's the easiest way to make money online. And don't get me wrong, it probably is the easiest way to make money online, but there is a lot more to it than you really think. For example, when you start with reselling, you're only supposed to do local reselling, and a lot of you guys jump straight into the online reselling, StockX reselling, and you guys get instantly banned, and then you wonder why reselling doesn't work, and then you guys give up. In the beginning, you guys should only be prioritizing Facebook, OfferUp, Nextdoor, and Craigslist. Those are the main apps that you want to prioritize, especially in the beginning when you're starting out. I personally started with $40, and I was able to turn my $40 into well over $1 million at the age of 17. With my $40, I was able to purchase a cologne that I listed on Facebook Marketplace for $110. Within the next 1 to 2 hours, I literally sold it for $110, which means I made 70 profit in the span of 2 hours. When I turned my $40 into $110, I reinvested my money into a lot more different products. I diversified into many different sections. What turned into $40 flips turned into $100 to $300 flips, and so on and so forth. And I was doing great. I was hitting $100 days. I was making hundreds of dollars in the beginning as soon as I started, and everything was going great until one day I woke up to an account ban. My Facebook profile got completely deleted and I had to completely restart, and I didn't know what to do. And the feeling of restarting was the worst feeling I've ever felt. It was like literally starting from the beginning. I spent months grinding on that account just for it to get completely erased from the internet. But what none of these resellers are telling you is that you need to know how to list these products properly, or you're just going to keep getting banned over and over and over. I'm going to explain to you guys exactly how to prevent this from happening. It took me about 5 to 7 bans before I was able to master this and crack the code. But there's only really 3 simple things that you really need to know, so make sure you listen up. The first thing is stealing photos, okay? I know that sounds crazy, I know that sounds ridiculous, but yes, stealing photos is the most important and crucial method for Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Nextdoor, and Craigslist. The reason why I say this is because sometimes when you take your own photos, they get flagged by the AI detection on these apps. And by stealing somebody's listings, you're ensuring safety because their listing was able to stay up, which means that yours will stay up as well. But I also recommend that you switch your location to a different area because you don't want to steal somebody's listing in your area. Number 2 is listing your products as like new. For some odd reason, Facebook Marketplace, if you list your product as brand new, it will get instantly taken down and you'll get a warning straight to your account. So you have to make sure that you list as like new. I know it's kind of ridiculous, but that's literally all you have to do. You have to list it as like new. And last but not least is having a professional profile. On Facebook Marketplace, I recommend, since most of you guys are teenagers like me, I'm 17 years old, I am literally not even allowed to be on Facebook because it's supposed to be for 18-year-olds and above. So basically what I do is I have a professional profile that looks like a grown man, an adult. I pretend to be a chef for, some random high-tier restaurant, okay? And the reason why I do this is because on my profile, I put a fake college, a fake high school I graduated from, a random restaurant, and then I have a dad bio that says how I have these 2 teenager sons and blah, 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 and this dog named Daisy. And the reason why I do this is because it seems like I'm a real person. The more realistic this profile is, the more likely somebody is to buy from you. If you just make a Facebook profile, you leave it blank, you have no details about yourself, you really think these people are going to buy from you? And you guys are probably like, Lucas, but if I do a meetup, this guy's going to expect me to be a 40-year-old man. If they question you, if they ask you a question, just say that you're the son. Think outside the box, okay? And this is what a lot of you guys don't realize is most of these customers you can turn to long-term customers. So let's say I'm doing a $100 meetup, okay? I can be like, hey, I saw that you're interested in the cologne that you just bought from me. I have more. I can get you literally anything you want. Just shoot me a text, give me your number. And you write down his number, be like, if you need anything, bro, just text me. I got you. I'll keep you updated on my stock. And little do you know, this guy that bought this cologne for $100, he might be a reoccurring customer that's going to bring you thousands in the future. So there's a lot of different methods that I could go on for hours and hours and hours. But that's just one method that has made me a lot of money. After all this trial and error, getting banned over 6+ times on Facebook Marketplace, I started to do some deep diving. I started doing some research, and I started to realize that most of these gurus that I watch on Instagram, most of these gurus that I watch on YouTube were lying to me, okay? I started to realize that all these resellers weren't actually resellers. And I know I am a big reseller, and you probably think, oh, this guy's just another guru. But I actually have experience with reselling, and I can literally answer any question that you have about reselling, unlike all these other resellers. But that's when I realized, like, hey, you know, all these gurus are posting on Instagram. I'm just sitting back and watching them. I'm consuming their content. But what if I start posting content on how to actually resell, the actual proven methods, the actual proven guides, the tips and tricks, the deep diving in these reselling apps, so that you guys don't have to repeat the same mistakes I did. And well, exactly 1 year ago today, I started posting content, and look where it's gotten me today. So I have literally changed thousands and thousands of lives with my content because I actually know what I'm talking about. I have actually helped people get rid of their bans. I've helped people avoid getting bans, avoid getting warnings, bypass their bans. I've done everything to help people, my community, and I can literally help you with anything. But anyway, let's get more into my story and how I got to where I'm at today. But back in 2024, it was March 3rd, 2024, I got cheated on, okay? And that was my turning point. That was the point where I realized, like, hey, you know, I'm at the point where I either one, play video games for the rest of my life, waste my time, or two, I lock in with the business model that's actually gonna make me consistent cash flow long term. And I saw a reselling video on TikTok where this guy was selling a cologne, and he turned $30 into $150. And I was like, bro, this is absolutely nuts. The potential this has is insane. So what I did is I ordered the cologne. You know, as you guys know, I turned $40 into $110. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go all in on this. And as soon as I went all in, you know, I was doing great, $100 a day, hundreds of dollars I hit, probably $700. And then my account got banned, as you guys know. And I realized, like, yo, you know, there's a lot to this. I got to figure this out. How am I going to do this? I made another account, banned, another, banned, another, banned, banned, banned. And then I realized, like, yo, like, there has to be something to this. There has to be a way to do this. I started listing as like new. I started to copy people's listings. I started stealing photos. And I started to realize, like, hey, I figured it out. I cracked the code. And just like that, never got banned again. And if I were to get banned, it would be like every 4 months. It would be very, very rare. It'd be very difficult to get banned. And that's when I started seeing massive results, massive success. I started buying products in bulk, okay? So I would spend upwards of $500 to $1,000 on a bulk order. And I would turn that $1,000 bulk order into $5,000. I would 5x my profits. And it was just like a domino effect. It was like a snowball effect. As soon as I cracked the code, I started seeing the most success. And that's when I wanted to help other people crack the code, get the snowball effect, just like I did. I went from 5 sales a week, you know, that was about $1,000 a month, to literally $5,000 within 3 to 4 months after cracking the code. The month after that $5,000 a month, I hit $10,000, and then I hit $15,000, and then I hit $20,000. And I kind of stayed in that area for the longest time until I figured out new methods, new products, and how to diversitize and scale on social media, online reselling, store supplying, StockX and GOAT reselling. I fully maximized my profits in this niche in the span of 1 year. And I'll tell you guys right now, this process wasn't easy whatsoever. You know, I'm making it seem like it was really easy, but the amount of hatred I got, I would literally go to school with a duffel bag full of products, okay? I literally would take a duffel bag with products and I would literally carry it around the school. Whenever I had to do a meetup, whenever I had a sale, I would literally text the people on OfferUp. I would get the product, I would be like, hey teacher, can I go to the restroom? And I would go to the front gate and I would literally complete the meetup, okay? I've had all my friends make fun of me. All my friends, even the teachers, I've had people play my videos during class on the big whiteboard. I've had people call me scammer, call me get a real job. I've had the entire school against me. The entire school stared at me in the hallways. I've literally had every single form of rebellion. But guess what? I never gave up. Look at the car I'm in right now. I'm 17 years old. I'm a millionaire because I never gave up. So one word of advice, one piece of advice for you watching this video is never give up. Okay, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you get banned, no matter how many people are against you, don't listen to them. You can do it. If I can do it, so can you. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can do it as long as you don't give up and you give it your 100 every single day. But Lucas, I want to hear how you went from 5,000 to $20,000 to $50,000 to $100,000 a month. Okay, I'm gonna explain it to you. So the starting process, $1,000 a month was local reselling. Okay, I mastered local reselling, I figured it out, I cracked the code. Next step was buying products and trying new different products. So what I did, I diversitized and I ordered around 10 different products, different colorways, blah, blah, blah. And that's when I started hitting $5,000 a month. As soon as I hit my first $10,000 a month, it was because I started leveraging with social media. I started posting content and started teaching others how to actually scale with reselling, kind of like what I'm doing right now. From there, I realized like, yo, I gotta also master online reselling, okay? And what I didn't realize is what I was getting myself into. You guys think local reselling is hard? Oh boy, online reselling is a whole different ballgame. And I had to learn that from scratch. But now obviously I mastered it and I teach others how to master it as well. But that's when I started hitting $15,000 and $20,000. But to leverage myself even more, I was like, hey, there's a lot more money in this. How can I crack the code? What can I do to make the most money I possibly can? And it was bulk supplying on Snapchat. That was the best way to make the most money possible. I started doing local reselling, online reselling, social media, and I was bulk supplying on Snapchat. And that's when I started hitting about $30,000 a month. But to fully hit those $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 months, I realized that you and I need to become the vendor. You need to become the supplier. So what I learned from social media was you need to become the supplier. What these gurus are doing is they sell vendors that link to themselves. I personally don't do that, but I get a massive commission from my suppliers. So I utilize what I had. I make money from selling suppliers, obviously, as you know, I'm not gonna just say I don't. Yes, I make money from selling suppliers, but I also make money from that supplier by referring it to you, the viewer. So I utilized what I had, started hitting those $50,000, $60,000 months, and now I can freely do whatever I want. Obviously, I still resell, I still sell every single day. But if I wanted to go ghost, I would still hit a guaranteed 30 grand a month. You know, I could do whatever I want. I'm still gonna hit 30K a month. But what I recommend for you is you start with local reselling. As you learn, start social media, start a social media account. Then from there, start online reselling, learn how to online resell. But yeah, just use what you have and never give up, okay? I promise you it's gonna be worth it in the end, but you have to be consistent. You have to be willing to put in the work and give it your 100% every single day. I went from being a dead broke 17-year-old teenager who got bullied for his acne, for being broke, for the clothes he wore, to now being a millionaire. Every single person asks me how I did it. Every single person tells me, hey Lucas, I'm sorry for what I did. I always knew you could do it. I always believed in you. So now owning a Lamborghini at 17 years old, which I legally can't even own. I literally have a Corvette in front of me as well. So now even helping my family. I take my family on vacations all the time. We travel all the time. We just went to New York. I took them to Miami. I took them to Hawaii. Literally all paid by me. I paid for everything. I paid for the hotels, the room, the plane tickets. I've spent over probably 30 to 40 grand just on vacations with them. I gave my dad 20K just for the other day for Father's Day. And now I have the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, as literally a minor. You know, most of these people are grown men, 60 years old, hoping to get a nice retirement when I make their salary in 1 month with reselling. I know it's crazy. I know it's kind of cooked, but that's the sad reality that we live in. But if you think reselling isn't for you, you're completely wrong, bro. If I could go from being a dead broke 17-year-old teenager to now having $1 million in the span of 1 year, why can't you? What separates me and you? What is the difference between me and you? Okay? That's what I think that's the reason why I became so successful, is because when I started reselling, I looked at all these top dogs. I saw these people with 100, 200K followers, and I was like, yo, this guy is my age, okay? This guy is younger than me. How in the hell can he do that, but I can't? What's the difference between me and him? And what I realized is there was only one thing that separated us, and it was our mindset and consistency, the amount of work we were putting in. I realized that he was posting more content than I was. He was more locked in than I was. So I was like, you know what? I got to start posting content. I got to start posting 3 videos a day. I got to one-up this guy. And look where it got me. If you look on Instagram and you look at all the resellers, I want you to find who is number 1. You're gonna find out I am number 1, okay? I went from being the very bottom to being at the very top because I was the most consistent one. I put in the most work. And if you look at the common trends of what people do, they all copy my videos. They all copy my style of videos. They steal everything from me because I'm number one. I was the outlier. So if you want to become successful, you have to be the outlier. You have to be in the top 1%. But the only way you can start is by taking action. And that starts today. So if you want to become successful, you have to take action. You can't just expect it to be handed to you. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Just remember, you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every single day.